Hello and welcome back to For You. You're very brave for returning for day 2 of this article, The World's Strangest Foods. Would you eat them? Yesterday we discussed 2 interesting dishes.
The first one was the Japanese one, which is called yanxing. And what was the second one?
The second one was the Italian cheese with maggots inside. If you had to eat one of those 2, which one would you eat?
Definitely the first one.
Yeah?
I hate worms and bugs, no. So no way, maggots, no. So I think I'll go for the squid one.
You would go for the squid with the organs. I think I would go for the cheese.
Really?
I really don't like squid.
Okay, so now I see how much you hate squid.
Maybe it's an Eastern-Western thing, you know?
Okay.
I think in the East, squid is a more common foodstuff, whereas in the West, cheese is pretty common.
True.
Even if it's got bugs in it. Anyway, let's go into the article and find out about some more gross food from around the world, starting with the thing that I like the least out of anything, spiders.
Okay, we'll find out.
Reading. The world's strangest foods. Would you eat them? Garlic fried tarantulas. You might be scared of big spiders with lots of hair, but for Cambodians, they're delicious. Garlic fried tarantulas are a special treat in Cambodia. The snack became popular in the 1970s when it was hard to get enough food in the area. These days, the tarantulas are becoming more difficult to find because forests are becoming smaller. What's more, people are hunting too many of them. Haggis. Few things are more Scottish than haggis. A sheep's heart, liver, and lungs are ground up and mixed with oats, onions, animal fat, and spices. It's usually cooked in the animal's stomach, although sometimes a different casing is used. Some believe that the casing has no effect on the flavor. Haggis is very crumbly, with a warming pepper flavor. It's most commonly served with mashed potatoes. Haggis can be used in a number of ways. It can be used to make a stuffing for chicken or turkey, or fried up for breakfast. And that's our look at some of the world's strangest foods. Which one would you like to try?
So the first foodstuff is garlic fried tarantulas. Let's talk about some of these words before we find out exactly what this delicacy is. Garlic is a plant of the onion family that has a really strong taste and smell and is used to add flavor to your cooking. Now, the word tarantula is a giant, hairy spider. Tarantulas usually live in jungles, and some people even keep them as pets. Tarantulas don't usually make webs. Instead, they hunt for their food. Some of them are so big and scary, they can even hunt and kill birds. Whew. Let's go back to garlic now, and an example sentence with the word garlic. To cook this dish, you need 4 crushed cloves of garlic.
所以第一道菜就好刺激. I don't think I've ever seen a tarantula before.
Not in real life. I've seen a pet tarantula, but not in the wild.
Have you seen tarantulas in Taiwan? I don't think we have that here.
I don't think there are tarantulas in Taiwan.
Yeah, 所以代表我就没有看过。所以呢，第一道呢叫什么刺激嘛？所以这个 garlic 就是大蒜的意思。那起码它有加大蒜啦，所以 garlic fried 就是蒜炸的，或者是 fried 也有炒或煎的意思。那这个单位呢，大蒜的单位是 clove， 就是半一半蒜。刚老师的句子里面也有讲。所以我们再讲一个类似的 For this recipe, you can add either 1 or 2 cloves of garlic. 就是这个食谱呢，你可以加1半或2半的大蒜。所以呢，第一个菜就是酥炸大狼猪。
Wow, tarantulas are so scary. Although Taiwan does have a big spider. It's not a tarantula, it's the laya. You know this one?
Oh, the Taiwanese?
Yeah, the big Taiwanese spider that lives in your house. They're almost as big as tarantulas.
Okay, 很像，都是大蜘蛛拉牙吗？
Yeah. Back to the article and more about this dish. You might be scared of big spiders with lots of hair, but for Cambodians, they're delicious. Garlic fried tarantulas are a special treat in Cambodia. The snack became popular in the 1970s when it was hard to get enough food in the area.
所以呢，这个大大又毛毛的蜘蛛大家一定很害怕，不过对这个柬埔寨人来说呢，是超级好吃的东西哦。所以酥炸狼蛛呢，它在柬埔寨其实是非常特别的点心，它在1970年代呢就非常的受欢迎。那个时候也是刚好大家比较没有食物吃的时候。
So I have seen these being served when I was in Beijing. There's a famous street called Wangfujing, and they have a food street there that's famous for weird snacks. And they had deep-fried tarantulas there. Safe to say I did not eat one, but one of my friends did.
They must have scorpions too.
They had scorpions, yeah. My friend said when he ate the tarantula, he bit the leg and it was crunchy, but when he bit the body, it popped inside of his mouth and all the blood and organs.
I'm guessing it's bitter.
I don't know. He didn't describe the flavor. He just described the texture.
Okay.
Not for me. Back to the article, it says, these days the tarantulas are becoming more difficult to find because forests are becoming smaller. What's more, people are hunting too many of them. Well, the article talked about these tarantulas living in forests. A forest is a huge area of trees and plants. Forests are bigger than woods and can sometimes stretch on for hundreds and hundreds of miles. Don't get lost in a forest because you may never come out again. Many animals live in forests, and they're also beautiful places to go hiking or camping. Here's an example sentence. On Sunday afternoons, I like to walk in the nearby forest and pick mushrooms.
所以呢 forest 就是森林，所以如果是森林大火呢，就是 forest fire。比如说 it was the lightning that caused the forest fire last year， 就是去年的森林大火呢，就是闪电造成的。所以文章意思说，近日呢森林一直减少，因为大蜘蛛越来越难找了哦。所以呢大蜘蛛越来越难找，因为没有森林了嘛，它们没有居住的地方。所以除此之外呢，就是人们太常捕捉这些蜘蛛了。
Okay, well, moving from Cambodia back to my homeland, the United Kingdom. We have some weird food there, and this is probably the weirdest and maybe most famous. Haggis. Few things are more Scottish than haggis. A sheep's heart, liver, and lungs are ground up and mixed with oats, onions, animal fat, and spices. This one actually sounds pretty delicious to me.
I know, right? Yeah, it sounds delicious to me too. 所以我们来看一下今天的文法，就是看一下 few 跟 a few。A few 还有 few 呢，都可以拿来修饰复数可数名词，但是它们意思不太一样哦。A few 表示一些，它跟 some 的意思差不多。那么 few 呢，它就表示很少的意思。那么如果今天你后面接的是不可数，我们就会使用 a little 或者是 little 这两个字。那我们再看几个句子。The situation in the country has remained stable for a few weeks now. 代表是一些周，好几周这样子以来。或者是呢 I think it's good that our company gets few complaints. 我觉得很好啊，我们公司都没有很多的抱怨。或者是 You should put a little more effort into your schoolwork. 你应该花更多，那因为 effort 在这边呢，我们没有要把它当可数，所以我们就用 a little more 就好了。那我们再看最后一个。Anthony has helped people start their own businesses with very little money. 就是比很少的钱，所以我们用 very little.
Yesterday we talked about organs. They're the things in your body that help you live. Well, the word lungs is one of those organs. Your lungs are the organ that helps you breathe. We take air into our mouths. It travels down into our lungs, of which we have two, where they work to take out the oxygen and use it to fuel our bodies. Lungs are very, very important, but not all animals have lungs. Some bugs don't really have them. Instead, they breathe through their skin. Let's have an example sentence. Her lungs got damaged in the car crash, so now she has trouble breathing.
所以这个 lung 就是肺。那老师刚刚有提到我们有两个肺，所以呢 we have the left one and the right one， 两个都是 lung。那其实肺癌就是 lung cancer， 所以呢我们可以说 smoking is responsible for many cases of lung cancer.
Very dangerous indeed. A few more words to talk about here. Let's have a look at grind up and oat. The phrase to grind up something means to crush something into tiny pieces or even into a powder. Yesterday we talked about pepper. You can grind up peppercorns to make black pepper. You can grind up meat to make mince for cooking. We also saw oats. Oats are a food that we often use in cereal or oatmeal, and it comes from a plant that grows mostly in North America. Oats are full of fiber and carbohydrates and nutrients. They make a very, very good breakfast, especially with milk, as they give you energy for the day.
所以 grind up 就是磨碎的意思，或者是把什么磨成粉状。那它的三态可以记下 grind, ground, ground.
Something that we might grind up is a spice. Spices are like seasonings. Spices come from plants or the seeds of plants. They're usually ground up into fine powders and sprinkled on top of food or put in the food during the cooking process. Spices don't have to be spicy, but they usually have a very strong flavor. Paprika, cumin, and cloves are some different kinds of spices. Here's an example sentence. The restaurant uses a secret mix of spices to make their noodles taste extra delicious.
所以 spice 我们其实昨天有大概讲一下啦 spice 就是香料或调味品。那提到的单字 seasoning 我们再补充一下 spice 通常是指植物来源的香料，老师刚刚也有提到，那么 spice 就是 seasoning 其中里面的一种，所以 spice 就是加什么香料的意思，当动词也可以哦，比如说 I like my banana oatmeal spiced with cinnamon 我喜欢呢我的香蕉燕麦里面加肉桂 It's so good
Or a cinnamon spiced latte
真的 so good 好好喝，就是下面拿铁下面加肉桂，所以呢，没有什么是比肉馅羊肚还要更具苏格兰特色的。那他们怎么做呢？就是把羊的心脏、肝脏还有肺磨碎，再跟燕麦洋葱、动物脂肪还有香料混合在一起。Sounds so delicious. I want to try it.
We're not finished yet. There's more to haggis. It's usually cooked in the animal's stomach, although sometimes a different casing is used. Some believe that the casing has no effect on the flavor, so I guess it's okay to change it. Let's talk about the word effect. Effect is a noun, and it's a change which is a result or consequence of an action or other cause. The verb to affect means to make a change to something, to do something to cause it to change. So the noun form uses an E, effect, instead of an A, affect, and is the name for the thing that has changed. By saying that the casing has no effect on flavor, the article is explaining that the casing doesn't change how the food tastes. It has no effect. Here's an example sentence. The effects of the terrible earthquake could be seen all over the island.
Effect 就是影响的意思，所以这个字呢，我们前面加一个 side 有一边的意思嘛，所以变成 side effect 就会变成副作用的意思。那如果今天不是讲副作用，是后遗症，我们就是前面加 after， 不过它通常是连在一起的，所以是 after effect。那我们看另外一个句子 Sleepiness is sometimes the side effect of certain medications。所以呢，我们来看一下 affect 跟 effect 这两个字，它们都当影响的意思时 affect 我们拿来当动词就是影响，所以比如说 the medicine might affect your heart rate， 或者是呢，我们再讲一个 don't let anyone affect how you feel about yourself， 那这些都是当影响动词的意思是 affect， 那如果是名词就是影响 effect。所以呢，这个肉馅羊肚呢，通常是在动物的胃里面烹调，不过有时候会使用不一样的容器，因为有些人觉得容器并不会影响它的味道。
Well, more about haggis. It says haggis is very crumbly with a warming pepper flavor. It's most commonly served with mashed potatoes. This actually sounds really tasty. And I've tried haggis before, and it's good. Let's talk about a few more words before we get our opinions on haggis. Crumbly and mashed potatoes. Crumbly is an adjective and can describe something that can easily be broken down into smaller parts. Biscuits or cookies are crumbly. If you crush a cookie in your hand, it will easily break into little parts. Mashed potatoes are boiled potatoes that have been crushed into a smooth paste. Sometimes we add butter and cheese too. Delicious.
所以呢 Crumbly 在这边是脆的或者是易碎的意思。那如果是马铃薯泥呢，就是 mashed potatoes， 但是它这边用 mash， 这个 mash 就是有把什么东西磨成泥的意思。所以文章就是说呢，肉馅羊肚是非常脆的，它有一点温温的胡椒味，然后通常跟马铃薯泥一起吃。
Back to the article and more about haggis. Haggis can be used in a number of ways. It can be used to make a stuffing for chicken or turkey, or fried up for breakfast. I think I like the fried version better. Let's talk about stuffing, though. Stuffing is a noun, and stuffing is the food that you put inside other food if you're feeling very hungry, usually inside something like a chicken or a turkey. Stuffing is usually made out of bread, vegetables, and other seasonings, but as the article explains, haggis can be a kind of stuffing too. Stuffing tastes so good, especially when it's covered in gravy. You can even eat stuffing without stuffing it inside something else. It's still called stuffing. Here's an example sentence. My mum made a vegetarian stuffing with nuts and mushrooms for dinner.
所以呢，我们有另外看到 a number of something， 这个就是指一些的，但是它只可以用在可数的东西上面。那我们刚刚有说这个 haggis， 我们也可以把它 fried up， 就是把它油煎或油炸的意思。那我们来看一下那个 stuffing 这个字 ，stuffing 就是填料或者是馅料，它很好理解，因为它是来自于 stuff 这个字的动词，有把什么东西填满啊或塞满的意思。所以如果是动物的填充娃娃呢，什么东西被塞满了，其实我们就可以说 stuffed animals。那我们甚至还可以说 to knock the stuffing out of someone， 或者是把这个 knock 变成 take, beat, kick 都没有关系，它就会有把某人揍扁，或者是呢元气大减的意思。所以比如说 I'll beat the stuffing out of you if you don't tell me what's going on.
So scary, Jacqueline.
好坏哦。所以肉馅羊肚呢，可以以很多种方式来吃哦，可以拿来做鸡肉或火鸡的馅料，也可以呢煎一煎当早餐吃。
So what do you think about haggis, Jacqueline?
I think so far I think it sounds good. I've never tried it,
yeah.
But I think I would like to try it next time I go there.
You know what I think is good about haggis? It's the fact that maybe it has some weird things like lungs and kidneys inside, but because it's all mashed up and ground up into a kind of mince, it doesn't really feel like you're eating organs.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're eating minced meat. And
Okay.
It's seasoned so well.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I think this one is not that scary.
Yeah.
You don't feel the texture.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't. Maybe some people will disagree with us, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the article ends here. It says, and that's our look at some of the world's strangest foods. Which one would you like to try?
Haggis, haggis, haggis.
I think haggis. I've actually tried haggis. So Scotland is part of the UK, and I'm from the UK. I'm from England. But you can find haggis pretty much anywhere in the UK. In Scotland, they will eat it for breakfast, and they usually slice it into kind of almost like a sausage and then fry it. It's super, super delicious.
It goes very well with red wine, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, because I can imagine the flavor
Yeah.
all organs.
Like a spicy meat.
Yeah.
If you guys are ever in the UK, particularly in Scotland, which is in the north of the UK, I recommend you try haggis. It's a real delicacy. And unlike some of the other foods on this list, actually sounds pretty good. Well, let's go to our For You Chat question to finish this 2-day article about strange food.
For You Chat.
欢迎回来. So today our For You Chat question is, of all of the 4 foods mentioned in this article, this is from yesterday and today, which one would you like to try the most and why?
Well, I've already tried haggis, so that one doesn't count. I wouldn't dare eat spiders. They're too scary. I really don't like squid. So I think I would be interested to try the cheese.
But the maggots are moving.
I'll try the version where the maggots are squashed into the cheese. So at
Okay.
least they're already dead. Because maggots are actually really good for you. They're full of protein.
That's true, but they look disgusting.
They do look disgusting. I'll just try not to think about the fact that there are maggots inside the cheese when I'm eating it. How about you, Chickling? Which one would you most be interested to try?
Well, as I mentioned just a second ago, I think I'll go for the one from your hometown.
The Haggis.
Yeah, that one. 肉馅羊肚. That one sounds so delicious.
I think maybe in Taiwan there are some foods that are kind of similar. Like a sausage is essentially haggis because a sausage has like intestine skin and then inside is like mashed up meat. And sometimes they put like organs and other things inside
they do?
too.
Okay. Do you like sausages here?
I love sausages.
You do?
Oh, yes. Sausages are delicious. You guys can think about this question too. Which of those 4 foods would you most like to try? There's the squid, the cheese, the tarantulas, and the haggis. Talk about those with your friends and try not to vomit. That's all we have time for today. We'll see you next time. Take care and go and try some food.
So, this is Reese, this is Chickling. We'll see you next time. Bye!
Vocabulary Review.
Garlic. Adding garlic to a dish is a great way to add taste, although some people don't like the smell. Forest. Many animals can be found hiding among the trees of the forest, like foxes and deer. Lung. David took a deep breath, filling his lungs with fresh country air. Spice. Because Larry puts so many spices into his cooking, his dishes always have a strong taste. Effect. Jack's beautiful smile has a positive effect on everyone he meets. Stuffing. We need to put this bread in the turkey to make the stuffing. Let's break it into pieces.
智慧小补帖
Grind up something. Oats. Crumbly. Mashed potato.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net